What's going on YouTube? When a brand enters a new segment, it's important that they make a huge splash in order to interrupt the already well-established players. And that is certainly what Hyundai and Kia have done with their brand new 3-row crossovers. Both the Palisade and Telluride offer class-leading style, luxury, and value. But that introduces a new question. Which one is the better choice for you and your family? Let's go ahead and find out. So like always, the first thing on the agenda is the pricing and equipment of these two. Since Hyundai and Kia are both known for value, they both come in at similar price points which undercut the competition. For this comparison, we have the SEL trim of the Palisade, with nearly every option added onto it, including the $1,700 all-wheel drive system. This brings the total price with destination to just a little over $42,000. For the Telluride, the trims are arranged a little differently, so the closest model in price and equipment is the SX. When it is equipped with all-wheel drive and has the destination charge added in, its total price is $44,535. That puts the price difference at a little over $2,000. So to compensate for that, we will start the Hyundai off with 1 point per $1,000 of difference, or 2 points. So getting things started here with the exterior designs, only people who follow the auto industry are going to realize that these two are related to each other. They both have bold and stylish designs, but the Hyundai's grille is significantly larger and has a more traditional SUV look. The Telluride's grille, on the other hand, looks a little more sleek, and is accented by 2 small LED light clusters pushed out to the corners. On the Hyundai, they went with a far more unique design, using 2 distinct clusters that are connected by a cascading LED running light. However, do be aware that it does not have fog lights, unlike the Kia. Checking out the sides, the Telluride is actually a hair larger, even though visually speaking, the opposite is true due to the hugely different designs. However, in the back, there are more similarities than anywhere else on the rest of the vehicles. They both have similar looking vertical LED taillights, their names spelled out across the back, and dual exhausts that are mounted side by side. So overall, both are extremely stylish and completely unique from each other, besides for a few small details. Now moving beyond the appearances, both have 20-inch alloy wheels with vastly different designs, as well as mirrors that are power adjusting and heated with blind spot indicators, though only the Tellurides are power folding. Now in addition to the already mentioned blind spot monitoring systems, both Hyundai and Kia give you their entire suites of safety systems as standard equipment. That means they have automatic emergency braking, lane keeping assist, adaptive cruise control, and auto high beam headlights, which are features that are very impressive to be standard on all trims, not just these higher end models. Additionally, they both also come equipped with the longest warranties in the business, 5-year 60,000 mile basic and 10-year 100,000 mile powertrain, though neither have complimentary maintenance. Finally, the last thing to mention on the outside is that they both have 5,000-pound tow ratings. However, the Hyundai has auto leveling abilities at this price point, while the Kia would need an additional towing package. Well, that's it for the exteriors. So now let's go ahead and check out the more important cabins. Now moving into the interiors, the first thing we have are the key fobs for the standard smart entry systems. Besides for design, the main difference is that Hyundai has integrated remote start, whereas it has to be done via the UVO app on the Kia. So first, opening up the doors, just like on the outside, the interiors share very little. Both of them certainly have a more upscale vibe than the vast majority of offerings in the class, finished in real black leather. As far as the seats themselves, both have heating and 2-person memory. But this Telluride comes with an extra thigh adjustment and ventilation, which are limited only on the Palisade. Like I already mentioned, these are rich-looking cabins made of nice materials. So starting off with the Palisade, you have a soft-touch upper dash, and in the middle some faux aluminum and leatherette. The entire center console is also made of the same textured faux aluminum, and there is a leatherette along the side. Somehow, the Telluride's cabin manages to look even more premium, with a stitched dash and very realistic faux wood trim through the middle. You also have two leather-wrapped hand grabs that look like ones found on recent Mercedes models. And then turning to the door trims, they are also very nice. So overall, there's not really enough of a difference to award a point. Now checking out the gauges, they look mostly the same since the premium 12.3-inch reconfigurable gauges are only available on the limited Palisade. These setups use a 7-inch multi-function display and nice looking analog gauges. And then coming back to the steering wheels, they have attractive designs, are leather wrapped, and are heated, though only the SX will come with rain sensing wipers. Next up, we have the very important aspect of storage, where the Hyundai stands apart. That's certainly not to say that the Kia is bad, since it still has more than most in the class. But the Palisade has both a giant center console and another huge bin in front of that, which can be reconfigured with or without cup holders. Additionally, there is a center pass-through, so this might just be the new class leader in this respect. Now coming to the shifters, Hyundai has gone with an electronic one, while Kia stuck with a traditional one. Regardless of your personal preference on that aspect, only the Palisade will give you paddle shifters for manual shifting. However, when you go into reverse, the SX Telluride comes standard with a 360-degree camera system, which is something that requires the $47,000 limited trim on the Palisade. The next stop up the dash is the climate controls, which are both 3-zone automatic. All of the buttons are physically located in one convenient place, and you can adjust the rear climate as well. And now let's go ahead and sample the audio. While I was impressed by the Hyundai's bass sound system, the Kia's Harman Kardon sound system definitely delivers the richer sound. And now that brings us to the infotainment systems. While they do have different names, they are exactly the same software-wise. The only real difference here is that the SX comes standard with the 10.25-inch display and navigation, while our Palisade has the 8-inch display since we don't have the $1,200 driver guidance package. And finally, the last thing to mention up front is the regular moonroof on the Palisade compared to the dual panel on the Telluride SX. Alright, now moving to the rear areas. As you would expect, they share identical dimensions, and both are larger than the current Highlander and Pilot. These high-end models come with 7-passenger captain's chairs, which on the Palisade are also heated, while the Telluride requires the Prestige package for that. Now as far as other amenities, they have the same stuff, just located in different places. Both have manual sunshades, rear climate controls, as well as 2 charging USB ports and a household outlet. Moving on to the third row of seats, both crossovers have a very convenient one-touch folding and sliding mechanism to give you a nice pathway to the back. Once in the third row, they are once again the same as far as measurements. Both also have dedicated vents and charging USB ports, but only the Palisade has power reclining abilities. Moving around to the rear, both have smart opening tailgates. And when they open up, you'll find some of the best cargo capacities in the class. Once again, you will find that they are evenly matched, besides for a small Telluride advantage behind the third row. Feature-wise, the Palisade has the extra ability to power fold the third row, which is something that's not available at all on the Kia. So now let's go ahead and talk about the powertrain and take them out on the road. So as you've seen up to this point, these two don't share much in terms of what you can see, but where they share more is the stuff you can't see. They share the same 3.8 liter V6 engine, rated at 291 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque, and the same 8-speed automatic transmission. So first taking off in the Palisade, initial acceleration is definitely very nice and strong. Plenty of power. The numbers themselves are right in line with pretty much what the competition gives you. And with the 8-speed automatic transmission, it definitely gets moving very well for the class. Also, just starting out, you definitely have plenty of power. Like we said, you get a standard V6 engine here versus the rivals, where they're going to make you pay extra for it, more or less. Both, as equipped, also have the optional all-wheel drive system. As you would expect, the driving dynamics are very similar, which is definitely a good thing. They both ride very smoothly and comfortably, canceling out all but the largest road imperfections. As far as just rolling down the road here, we just hit a little bumpy patch of road. I just want to say it is exceptionally smooth riding. You could see the big bumps, but it just didn't feel hardly anything at all.
Yeah, I definitely second that. Wow. You know, riding along here, I was just trying to kind of soak it in and see how I was going to like it. And, you know, I mean, there's like the manholes in the road and stuff, and you really cannot even feel it, and it handles it so well. Like, if I were to close my eyes, I would believe that we're in a luxury SUV, honestly.
This road is quite rough here, and like I was saying, you really do have a luxurious ride. It definitely takes these bumps with ease. I cannot feel any type of violent intrusions or anything into the cabin. Yet despite that, they still have excellent body control and feel smaller than they are when maneuvering them. But yeah, I just want to re-emphasize just how balanced everything feels. I'm really impressed back here on this country road. I can't think of anything else in the class that drives with this much precision despite being so large. You know, like Mason said, I believe it just kind of makes you feel a lot more comfortable in maneuvering it on a road like this, whereas, you know, I would say this typical for the class, this would be kind of an uncomfortable endeavor to kind of take something so big on a narrow road. The rest of the driving dynamics are very similar or identical to each other, and overall they are some of the best in the class. One small but noteworthy thing to point out is that our Telluride has the blind spot monitoring system that is limited only on the Palisade. I don't know if the camera can see this very well or not, but we do have this camera system, which is like a lane watch type of deal. So when you turn on your right signal, it activates the right camera and then shows you basically your blind spot. But you do also have traditional blind spot detection as well, so you've got both of them. That really makes for a great combination. Finally, finishing this part up, they have the same fuel economy rating of 19 city, 24 highway, 21 combined. So there you have it. These two brand new crossovers end up finishing neck and neck. Like I said at the beginning, they really make a large splash into the segment by offering everything families are looking for, and then some extra stuff that you don't even expect. As always, if you're in the market for any 3-row, make sure you check out these two in person to determine which flavor is the best match. Anyways, thanks for joining us for another Car Confections comparison, and be sure to subscribe for more comparisons and our signature full review videos. Take care, everyone.